This is a cyclotron.
A what?
It's an amphibious conveyance based on the principles of ovoidal atmosphere.
A what?
Like a submarine.
Everybody, listen carefully. The Martians are coming this way. We must evacuate the city. Take food and water and extra clothing with you.
You are no longer in control of your listening device.
Can't you see that you're at the mercy of every element of the universe?
Rick and Ryan will take you on a science fiction cinematic journey into the post-atomic space age.
I'm not going to cooperate with these monsters.
We found a flying saucer. Just a minute, ladies and gentlemen. I think something is happening.
A chronological deep dive into the past.
Holy cow.
Put on your magnetic boots
Let's go.
and strap yourselves in for your ride with
The Unidentified Flying Podcast.
Outrageous.
Well, hi, this is Rick, and we're on the Lexaproteus 4, and this is...
Are we?
Yeah, we are. We have been.
Still.
And this is the Unidentified Flying Podcast. So, what have we been talking about, Ryan? Well, they heard all this, right?
No.
So we're not going to use any of that?
No, I was warm up, man. Or a special, if we start a Patreon or something, which we probably should, and just give them as extra bites.
Just bits? Yeah.
Bites.
Yeah.
Little bites of astronaut
Just stuff
ice
that we were
cream.
talking about. All the stuff before we rolled.
I was in the very beginning stages of my... I do, of course, I use space edibles here on the Lexaproteus 4.
Yes.
And I was at that point where the edible just kicked in. And so I was like, I got to talk about some other bullshit first before I talk about this movie we're going to talk about.
So we had a really long conversation about 90s action.
Yeah, I got to talk about that first and clear my head. I got to start making a little more sense.
I enjoyed the conversation. Wait, your droids make edibles?
Yeah, Weeshwash.
Oh.
But I just, gets boring out here sometimes in the whatever quadrant of whatever sector of whatever we're in. I'm not even keeping track anymore. What have you been doing on your end of the ship?
Not much.
You got any opinions about anything going on planet Earth?
No, I've been trying to build more shelves in my quarters. I keep using those strips that are supposed to hold shit up. And in space, it's supposed to hold even more up because it says, oh, hold up to 12 pounds. But we know that's bullshit anyway. But in space, I figured they would work because, gravity and shit. They still don't fucking work. And the shelves keep falling down and movies go everywhere. And it sucks. Because you try and get a lot of Blu-rays back in the cases in 0G.
Just start using nails, man.
No, because then I'll puncture through the hole, or the hull, you idiot.
In case you want to Blofeld yourself. Is he the one that gets sucked out of the plane, or is that Thunderball?
No, you're thinking Drax in Moonraker, maybe?
No!
What are you talking about?
Blofeld. He gets sucked out of a plane.
Probably in one of them.
In one of them. There's only one with Blofeld.
No, there's a ton with Blofeld.
Not Blofeld. I meant Goldfinger.
Oh, well then, yeah, Goldfinger gets sucked out of the plane. Yeah, you're right. You're right. No, and Drax got sucked into space, but yeah.
Blofeld gets dropped down a large chimney.
Yeah, eventually, yeah. Sort of.
Okay.
Unmentioned Blofeld does, yes, because they didn't use his name because of the McClory rights.
Stupid. We all know who it was.
It was Blofeld.
It's that other Bond villain with no hair and a white cat.
And while he's at the grave of the wife that Blofeld killed.
Yeah.
I've looked forward to this moment, Mr. Bond. I intend to enjoy it to the full.
So, anyway, I don't want that to happen to you.
It's like Jungle Jim being Johnny Weissmuller.
Oh, yeah, in the last couple Jungle Jim movies, which we discussed.
Yep.
You know what else we've got to discuss is we have a gentleman by the name of Otto Waldis. Now, do you remember Mr. Waldis?
I do.
I'm asking you.
Yes.
Yeah, he was in the Jungle Gym, or in the Whip
No,
Pan,
he was the Whip Pan. He was the scientist who was trying to bring Hitler back, kind of, or whatever he was trying to do. Yeah, he was the scientist.
He's in this.
Yeah, he's in this movie we just watched. And what movie is that, Ryan?
Unknown World, which is the movie we're going to be talking about tonight. It is very, well, I would say well known if you were into buying those DVD sets with like the 27 movies per disc of all public domain movies. This movie, if it was any kind of collection of sci-fi classics on a DVD for really cheap
that you got at a gas station,
yeah, it probably had Unknown World on it. This is there's been about 17 different VHS releases and just as many DVD releases, although to date it's never come out on Blu-ray.
But what's funny is that I my copy that because I was watching it from YouTube, and it's so ratty that I actually did think, I bet you on one of these freaking DVD sets somewhere I have a better copy of this, at least maybe better. And but I didn't go looking for it because I was already halfway through the movie, so I was like, screw it. But yeah, that
story could have actually had an ending and a point.
Yeah, well, it didn't.
But no, you went and screwed it up.
Yep.
Well, fuck you.
Oh well. Let's get into it then. Unknown World was released on October 26th in 1951 in the United States, directed by Terry O. Morse, otherwise known as Terrell O. Morse. It's written by Millard Kaufman and starring Otto Waldis as Dr. Max Bauer, Jim O. I just feel like when it's Bannon, you're supposed to put an O in front of it.
Yeah.
No, it's Jim Bannon as Andy Ostergaard.
Not Jim O'Bannon.
No. Tom Hanley as Dr. James Paxton, Dick Cogan as Dr. George Coleman, Marilyn Nash as Dr. Joan Lindsay, and Victor Killian as Dr. Morley, who does not actually appear in the credits because he was blacklisted at the time.
Yep.
But he plays Dr. Morley.
Amazing.
So, fearing the world is on the brink of atomic disaster, a group of scientists have devised a plan to journey into the Earth, where they believe, in theory, exists a cave large enough to hold all of humanity. After their government funding falls through, though, a snarky millionaire steps up and forks over the dough, as long as they'll take him with them. The scientists don't like him, but what the fuck you gonna do? With their newly acquired funds, they build the Cyclotram, an atomic-powered tank-looking thing with a giant drill attached to it. Once completed, the group sets off. So after journeying to the bottom of an inactive volcano, they begin burrowing into the Earth. Along the way, mysterious things are discovered, mishaps happen, people die, and tensions flare. Then, just as they are about to abandon all hope, they find the giant cavern they were looking for. However, things are not entirely what they seem. Because, there wouldn't be a movie if they were. So, will their ridiculously expensive, logistically implausible scheme to save humanity work? Or have they drilled their own graves?
Wow, good job, dude.
Watch Unknown World to find out.
I'm not kidding. I've known you a long time. That was a good one.
It was? I thought it was pretty basic.
Yeah, well, just take the compliment and shut up. Anyway, yeah, that is that movie.
So that is Unknown World. Yep. What was I going to say?
It's on you, baby
No,
boo.
that's it. No, that's it.
Well, normally you'd ask me what I thought, so now you're tripped up.
No, I'm not. I was not tripped up. I was looking at something else.
Gotcha.
So let's talk a little bit about the crew here. The people responsible for this thing we just watched.
Yeah, I get the feeling that you didn't care for this, but we'll get into that. Anyway.
No, that's actually
okay.
Okay, so this was brought to us by a company called Lippert Pictures. Lippert Pictures did a series of very cheap films around this time. I don't know how many, maybe 100 and so, 150 or so. They are responsible for Spaceways, a movie we watched at the beginning of this podcast called Rocket Ship XM.
Yeah.
They also are responsible for the one we're doing next called Superman and the Mole Men.
Yeah.
They also did a bunch of jungle adventures, biblical epics, and westerns.
Man,
all
covered the bases.
All B movies. I haven't seen a lot of them other than the aforementioned science fiction ones. And so they're responsible for that company. Rocket Ship XM had been such a success that it's kind of thought that they wanted to hopefully duplicate that success with a movie that pretty much has the same plot, but involves going in a different direction in your pointy-nosed machine.
Mm-hmm.
So, okay, fair enough, right? Just recycle your script and let's drill.
Pretty much.
Now, the director was Terry O. Morse, otherwise known as Terrell O. Morse. Probably, I would say, best known for directing the American segments of Godzilla, King of the Monsters.
Yep, and editing it. He edited and put that all together. So he gets credit.
Yeah, he directed a handful of movies, nothing, a couple of Charlie Chan films, and looks like some war thrillers and stuff. And he did a spy thriller with Boris Karloff called British Intelligence that I've seen, but not much. But he definitely made his mark because he gave us Godzilla, and but like you said, he was an editor as well, and he did the editing for Robinson Crusoe on Mars, and a couple of other movies we'll be getting to eventually. Kuruku, the Beast of the Amazon, and the Space Children. He edited Unknown World. He edited the Elvis movie Blue Hawaii, believe it or not. But I don't know, maybe...
Why not? I mean, that's a job.
Well, I don't know. Aren't those like prestige movies? Like, I've never seen one. Do they suck?
No. I mean, they're kind of like Gidget movies. I guess they're medium budget. I mean, it was Elvis, so yeah, they're not... Yeah. So are you saying that tapped his career, or...
I just figured that was like probably his best, highest movie, or best, highest caliber movie.
That's the poster he has in his office.
Yeah, like I'm sure he doesn't have Unknown World and Comanche Chief or whatever.
Shakes people's hands and says, "Hi, I did Blue Hawaii."
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, that's probably what he's...
I would.
I don't know. He's gone. He's gone from us.
I would.
So we can't... I mean, yeah, sure, whatever. At this point, I'd put up a poster of anything I wrote if the check cleared.
Yeah, I'd say I edited Dude, Where's My Car? I don't care.
3. Dude, Where's My Car 3.
Is there a third? If there is, I'll watch it.
I'll write it.
Okay. I think we got to make 2 first, don't we?
I don't know.
Okay.
Millard Kaufman, the writer of this, he's got some decent credits. He's got Bad Day at Black Rock and Gun Crazy, Rain Tree Country, and he also did no, that's not Yogi Bear, but there's a movie he did called Ragtime Bear, and it's a Mr. Magoo short.
Oh, good.
He directed
awesome.
Ragtime Bear.
Our director did, or our editor did?
No, that's the
writer.
editor.
Sorry,
the writer. Yeah, Millard Kaufman. So, other than that,
Magoo.
You got Ernest Gold composing the music. He's actually, I would say, out of all the people that worked on this movie, he probably has the most prestige credits. He he composed the music for Judgment at Nuremberg. It's a mad world. The Defiant Ones, Cross of Iron, Exodus,
yeah,
Ship
definitely.
of Fools, On the Beach. These are all Oscar nominated.
Definitely, yeah. These were standout movies I saw in the list.
Yeah. Although he did compose the score for Screaming Skull, which...
That's cool.
I love that movie. So yeah, fairly interesting there. The production design was Jack Rabin and Irving Block. They also were involved in effects work at the time, like with Giant Behemoth, The Atomic Submarine, The Invisible Boy, starring Robbie the Robot.
I like that movie. I do.
I'm sure you. Why am I not surprised?
What? Invisible Boy?
Yeah.
I like that. What do you got against Invisible Boy?
A boy made invisible by mysterious scientific force, held in the sinister power of the Berserk electronic brain machine developed by the boy's father, famous scientist Dr. Tom Marino.
You have 58 hours. If at the end of that time you have failed to supply the required information, the boy will be destroyed.
So, they've done a little bit of work, and our cinematographer, one of them, there was two, Henry Froelich, he is probably best known for doing It Came From Beneath the Sea.
That's a good one. That's a classic VHS that we had.
Yes, it is.
It may have been Good Times.
I believe it was Good Times, yeah.
I think there was a GT in the bottom. Wasn't sure.
Those were Good Times with our Good Times videos.
Yep.
The other cinematographer is Alan G. Siegler, and he looks like he got his start in the silent era, and he did a couple of old Karloff films, and he shot and I kid you not, this is one of the strangest silent films I've ever seen in my life. It's called Where Are My Children? And it's an anti-abortion film.
What? From what year?
1916.
Wow.
And it's strange. It's a strange, very melodramatic. Like nowadays, it would just be your average episode of any given soap opera, but back then it's just.
So really over 100 years really ago, weird. We were still having those debates.
Of course. Yep.
Just in case you wanted to think things would change.
Yeah, it was co-directed by Lois Weber, one of the early female directors in our industry or in the business, writer and director and actress. So it's an interesting curio. Not a good film. I guess I don't know how are you going to judge a movie like that, really.
Yeah.
But it's weird. So that's kind of who we got going in behind the camera on this. For most part, it seems like these are people that should know what they're doing and should be fairly competent at it. As far as the cast goes, we got Bruce Kellogg, whose main claim to fame was starring in the war film They Were Expendable. And Otto Waldis, who we already talked about, was in Attack of the 50-Foot Woman and The Whip Hand. He was also in Judgment at Nuremberg, but I think everybody in Hollywood at the time was in Judgment at Nuremberg.
Because isn't Shatner in that?
Yes. It's like the JFK of its time. Like every little part is played by some well-known actor at that time, and it's like 3 hours long, and so old Otto was in there. You got Jim Bannon.
Not Jim O'Bannon.
No, not Jim O'Bannon. He did a few movies.
Not Dan Bannon.
Jim Bannon is actually in a movie we're going to talk about when we get to 1953. That's one of the most nearest and dearest movies to my heart. I'll say its name now, but that's as far as I'm going to go. But it's called Phantom from Space.
Oh, boy.
Okay. So we also got Tom Handley, who was only in this movie, and Dick Cogan, who was in Miracle on 34th Street and Adam's Rib. So he was in a couple of big movies. And there's George Baxter, who, again, was in a couple of other... George Baxter was in The Flying Saucer, which we know and love. He played a man named Fred Burnside in The Flying Saucer, which was the first... I think the first movie we did, right? Our first episode?
Maybe he drove the boat that they
Michael Conrad was on?
That they drove past the whale on. Because
when they saw the whale,
remember him.
They saw the whale. Yeah.
So I just don't remember him in the movie.
Yeah, I don't know who Fred Burnside is in that movie.
No.
I barely remember who Michael Conrad was in that movie.
That's
and I know
not true.
I know he wrote, directed, starred in, shot, edited, and catered that movie himself.
Don't forget, Whip Hand is a sequel. It's a remake.
Yeah, Whip Hand is a remake without a UFO.
Yeah.
Marilyn Nash, the only female in this movie. She didn't really do a whole lot in her career.
But she ended up being like in like the location scouting and location casting and stuff of like was it Outlaw Josie Wales or one of those movies?
Yeah, she did. She moved into television and stage. But her biggest thing was she started Monsieur Verdot, the Charlie Chaplin film. And then she did Unknown World, and then
when she was younger, okay,
yeah, and then quit acting altogether on film.
Yeah,
and she may have done casting and stuff like that. I don't know. A lot of actors do or did go into casting. And then our aforementioned Victor Killian, who played Dr. Morley and was at the time blacklisted.
And I love that guy.
Yeah, he's out of all the actors, I think he might have the best credits.
He was in a lot of the Norman Lear stuff in the 70s.
Yeah.
And he's Grandpa Larkin from Mary Hartman, who's the the grandfather who is a flasher. So, and he flashes,
I know what a flasher is.
Yeah, you do.
But
okay.
I didn't know. I've never seen that show.
But he also is I want to say he's also the guy who remember the Brady Bunch when when they all find a wallet and they all get to like keep the money if no one picks it up, but at the last minute like that old man shows up and this was my entire life savings in this wallet and I want to thank you, and they give it over to him, and then he please let me give him $20. That's kind of how he talks. He's got like the mush mouth like this. He talks like this.
Me and the miss have been doing some frantic backtracking in the last few days.
Oh, I can just imagine.
I wanted to thank your boys for turning it in.
Oh, certainly, Mr. Stoner. I'll just call them. Greg, boys?
We were driving cross country and I pulled into that lot to fix a flat. I took off my coat. Must have fallen out of my pocket.
Pretty prolific TV career. Because he was in a lot of movies, and I'm sure...
like, he was born in like the 1800s.
Yeah, he appeared in over 100 films, but I think at this point in his career, he was probably doing mostly B movies because he'd been blacklisted. Because other than that, he was in like Meet Me in St. Louis. He did Hitchcock's Spellbound. He's Cary Grant and Only Angels Had Wings. He was in the Oxbow Incident. This Gun for Hire.
He's got a great face. He's like a really
Sergeant York.
A great character.
Yeah, Boys Town with Spencer Tracy. I mean, he was in a lot of like top tier movies, and once that one dickhead got his claws in, a lot of people got blacklisted, as we've discussed before. But
even the movies written by Dalton Trumbo, one of the side writers that he didn't get credit for with the other writer because he was blacklisted.
Yeah, and they weren't allowed to they could be in movies, but they weren't allowed to. Their name wasn't allowed to be on screen, and so all very silly. I'm sure we'll be seeing stuff like that again very soon. Or at least very soon on Earth. Not on our ship.
That can't happen again.
You're supposed to say that can't happen here. Yeah. So that's who we've got in front of the camera. And I guess, what'd you think, Rick? What do you think of Unknown World?
So it's one of those movies where I almost think it would be a good remake, because it doesn't have really a monster aspect. It doesn't have a villain. It's just nature, but it isn't even really. It is that they decide to drill down, and they find that new world. And I thought the beginning was interesting, where they kind of sum up a lot of it's the whole fear of the atom because of the bomb. So it really brings us back to the root of the podcast.
A series of atomic explosions, either accidental or deliberate, could set off a chain reaction to annihilate every man, woman, and child on the face of the earth. It could cause the death of every living thing. It's
not like there's any real... It seemed to me that there wasn't any real threat other than speculation, but this team, they decide to this is, we got to figure out a second plan in case the world all goes to hell. And they kind of find, in the Middle Earth, or whatever you want to call that area that they find down there, that cavern. It always is kind of funny because they say oh, what do we do about the sun? And they're like, well, we're going to have to do that because they're talking about planting stuff. But meanwhile, it's like, it's fucking bright as hell outside. Like,
yeah.
What's lighting that in the middle of the world? Isn't that a sun? You know, what's going on here?
Oh, in the middle of the world?
Yeah, you know what I mean? They're like,
it's algae.
But it's like,
it's
what,
algae.
The algae is making it reflect or something? The light?
Phosphorescent algae reflecting off the rocks. Is that what it is?
Well, because it sure looks like a sun on the movie, but whatever. Yeah. I thought some of the shots were kind of neat where, like, I couldn't, because my copy wasn't all that great, I had a hard time telling if it was a full set when it would show the little shots of them, like, walking in and out of their little tank thing. But yeah, at the same time, it almost kind of could have been like a process shot. I couldn't tell because my copy was so kind of blurry anyway. But I thought some of that stuff was pretty good.
Yeah, I think it's a set. I think it
like a giant set?
My copy wasn't too bad.
Okay.
Did yours? I have a DVD rip.
Did yours keep fluctuating the airiness and the sound?
That I don't remember.
Okay, mine was like someone Frankensteined it from a couple different things, but I watched it on YouTube. It's a movie where there's a lot of concepts, a lot of things that they could have done more with. It's really just I kind of compare it to the one I liked a lot, Destination Moon, where it's just an adventure movie of just these people on adventure. But I gotta say, not a lot happens, and it's just got the standard, like, the one guy's a jerk who funds the money for the trip. No one really likes him. The girl doesn't like him.
You don't like my kind of guy, do you?
Not very much. But I'll make an exception of you. You, I don't like a lot.
One thing happens. He has his shirt off and needs, like, medical attention. And because she's good at medical attention and he's got a cut, all of a sudden there's this little chemistry. Like, oh, now they kind of like each other, I guess. And
she can't stand him until she does.
Yes, and then that's where it changes. And, of course, that guy... You know, one guy sacrifices himself to help save him at one point, and he's like, we didn't like each other. We always argued, but he saved me. Well, he did what he thought he had to. You know, it's just little things like that happen, and it's like, okay, I guess this guy's our main guy. Because at first, it's like I was having a hard... Outside of, you know, the main Victor Killian, the professor on this, but... Yeah. Him, and then of course our little Otto, what's his name? Otto Waldis. Otto Waldis. Okay, we get them. They're the doctors. There's just a couple other people that are just kind of random doctors that don't really have any discerning character. At times, I almost had to go back and look at what color hat they had so I could tell which one was which. I was like, well, wait, is that the guy who was the jerk that funded the mission? Because I can't tell anymore because they're all wearing just... They just all kind of were interchangeable.
No, that was one of my things too. I was gonna say, even I went as far as Marilyn Nash might have been the only one I could keep track of. Because
she's a woman. That's it.
Yeah, she has long blonde hair and breasts, and that's not why. It's because
and she's the one that gives
the other
diary.
guys are all so generic.
I know you and your committee mean well.
Mean well. Next, you'll be calling us starry-eyed idealists.
Dr. Lindsay, you're out of order.
The whole world is out of order.
And I suppose you and your associates consented, right?
We couldn't have said it wronger if we tried.
Other than your two pillars, like you get the generic guys, but you do get the Victor Killian, who's got an unmistakable face like a mackerel, kind of, you know, and then you've got Otto Waldis, who's like, you know, I mean, so you've got these two Dick Tracy villains hanging out with these bland 50s guys that those are the interchangeable pocket. But
it's whatever.
Yeah, I mean, it's not bad. I just thought it was boring, and it was not covering a lot of ground. Like I like how they go up to go into the volcano and drill down in that, which I was kind of like, why didn't they drill from the other area? Or there was something where it just felt like they were already drilling, but then they were getting to the top of it. I don't know. It was just bizarre to me.
I know what you're talking, because they first have to have it shipped to a beach, and then they have to drive it from the beach up to the top. I'm assuming it's in Hawaii. And they drive it up to the top of this volcano. Meanwhile, these other volcanoes in the background are starting to go off.
Yeah.
So we better hurry, even though it's like several hundred miles away.
And they've said that this one shouldn't go off.
Yeah.
So but it's not like they're sure.
But I think the reason scientifically, and I'm no Neil deGrasse Tyson here, but just I believe it's because it's already a natural hole into the earth, which would be a volcano, because volcanoes are basically vents. So that vent the hot magma from the core. Okay? You know what I mean? So that's why it makes sense to just go down into a volcano that's inactive, because it's already hollowed out and it's going to lead you to in theory, to the cave that is big enough to hold all of humanity.
Yeah. Again, why? Because
3 billion people?
And it's like, why? Because things might happen on the planet's surface. They don't really... There's not like it's not like the Earth is really falling apart and this is like a... I didn't think there was a manufactured threat other than just questions about the atom.
There is no manufactured... Well, the threat is the atomic bomb. They say it's kind of like... It's similar to Rocket Ship XM. We've got this threat now. It might behoove us to find another place for humans to go in the event that our world is destroyed.
Yeah, and that's pretty much it, yeah.
Yeah, so in this case, they're like, well, I think there's probably a cave in the center of the earth big enough to hold everybody.
Well, but the funny thing is at the end of the movie, it's like all for these reasons. And really the reasons are because... I didn't like getting up early to go to work on days, but I'm thinking I can go back and do it. And then she's like, well, I didn't think I could compete with that man with the job. So, I mean, maybe things will be all right. It's like these personal things that...
And I was always afraid I couldn't compete in a man's world. I think I want to go back and try again.
Yeah. It was their own, bullshit they were trying to escape when it came down to it. And then the old man he kind of does a Jean Grey at the end of X-Men where he stands outside the ship and won't he doesn't want to get in and he lets himself get killed to I don't know if it's to let them escape or if he just didn't want to go. I couldn't remember.
He doesn't want to go back.
Yeah, he doesn't want to go back. He's like, no, it sucks there.
Go back to what? To a world bent on self-destruction? We can live the rest of our lives here in peace.
Morley, you're wrong. This isn't peace. This is a resting place for the living dead.
You're young. You don't know. I've had enough.
They're listening to rock and roll music and blah and this and that, and I don't want to go back to that world. And yeah, he snuffs it.
I don't even think rock and roll was a thing in 1951.
In 51? It was a little bit starting.
Well, it was blues.
It was blues and it was rock music, And
they still would have had big band music.
No, it would have been Chuck Berry and stuff.
Well, when? When did they start?
When did Chuck Berry start? Johnny B. Good was released in, looks like 1958. Yeah, it's 1958. So, all right, I'm going to put music in 1951. We'll see what hits there were. Abba Dabba Honeymoon by Debbie Reynolds and Carlton Carpenter. These were the top hits of 1951.
Yeah, it's probably got to be some Sinatra.
Because of you. Okay, yeah. So we're a little pre-rock and roll, okay?
Yeah.
Blue Tango, Tony Bennett. Yeah, so we're in the crooner era.
Yeah.
We're in the crooners. Well, big band I think of as 40s and 30s and 40s, but we're in the crooner era. Yeah. Roses are red by love, all that stuff.
So they finally get to this big cave, and I actually think the cave is neat. As far as just the design, mainly because I think the matte painting they use for the horizon is pretty cool. Yeah. But then again, it's also very generic.
Yeah.
But I you see some volcanoes, you see a few mountains, and I remember the first time I saw this, I was immediately like, oh, cool, I want to see what's over there.
Mm-hmm.
I bet you there's dinosaurs and there's,
Mole
maybe
men.
They'll find a tribe of people or something. But no, they pretty much just spend the rest of the movie on this sort of rocky escarpment right on the shore of the river.
Yeah. With rabbits.
And they start doing some experiments with rabbits, and spoiler alert, but eventually they find out the rabbits have the rabbits have been rendered. The rabbits have been rendered infertile for some reason they don't really explain. And so therefore they realize, holy crap, we can't stay down here. We'll never be able to reproduce.
What were we thinking?
Which is actually, if you think about it, probably the best thing that could happen to the human race is just stop.
Limited reproduction.
I mean, if they want to save the Earth, they'll kill off the species that's destroying it. So anyway, of course, as if on cue, an earthquake breaks out. And,
I love that in these movies.
And then it has kind of a weird ending, I thought, where they think they're going to get trapped at the bottom of the sea, and then they start to float up, and they somehow end up in Hawaii or something.
Yeah. It's like a James Bond movie at that and the ending there.
Yeah.
Like floating. They might as well kiss. Wow.
So it's all wrapped up rather quickly. I think this is one of those incidents where they had an interesting concept but just didn't have the budget to pull it off.
Mm-hmm.
And it's obviously shot on a dime. And I mean, what do you expect? It's unknown world. It was shot for like $50, and I think here's my thoughts on this movie. Is again, it's a good concept. It would be explored in later movies, and obviously Jules Verne did it several decades before this in a much more interesting way.
Hilary Swank did it.
Maybe not scientifically accurate, but Verne, what he lacked in scientific accuracy, he made up for in imagination.
Yes.
And there was one line, though, at the end when once they find out the rabbits are infertile and they're debating going back.
Mm-hmm.
And I actually liked the line that what's her name says, Marilyn Nash, Dr. Joan Lindsay. I liked the line where she says, "We can't bury ourselves in the earth and expect to live." I thought that was pretty good. That's a good line.
That's not bad.
Like, it's a good line that sums up the movie.
Yeah.
And, because, I mean, come on, this idea was pretty dumb to begin with. I mean, I think we've already covered that. Yeah. There's no way you're going to fit a few, like, I don't know what the Earth's population was in 1951, but it was a couple billion.
Yeah.
And, you know, who were they going to take all billion people? Was it just the Americans? Was it just the NATO alliance? Was it just everybody but the Ruskies? I mean,
yeah. And if we're moving everyone down, aren't we moving the people that are causing problems down too? So,
well, yeah, and that's what I was thinking. It's like you're not solving the problem because you're going to bring
you're just
all
relocating.
Those people. Yeah, you're just relocating the problem.
It's like in the last two seasons of Laverne and Shirley where they decided to take it in a whole new direction. So they moved Laverne and Shirley to New York, but they moved all the side characters all of a sudden show up there with them. So essentially it's the same show. It's just in California.
Wanga, 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 wanga. Enough.
I'm also wondering how, when is this plan going to be initiated? Is it
5 years from now?
Before there's any nuclear war? Like, are they just like, oh, we found the cave, let's start going, and they tell everybody to pack up and move? Are they going to do it when they first get warning that the missiles are on their way? Which, at that point, I don't feel like they'd have the time to move everybody.
Yeah, there won't be buildings or outhouses down there. They'll just be dirt.
Or are they going to wait till after the nuclear bombs have exploded and then bring whoever survived down there? Like, I don't know. They never really explain how this is going to work, because their whole thing of going down there is, if nuclear war breaks out on the surface, the Earth's going to be uninhabitable, so let's go to the center of the Earth. But
Okay,
if you move every if you move everybody off the surface of the Earth, then nothing's gonna happen up there. So you've moved down there for no reason, and somebody's gonna bring their bombs down there and start a war down there. Because it's not like those tensions are gonna ease the second you get down in this cave.
Yeah.
So that tells me that they're gonna be like, okay, as soon as we find out that Russia's launched a nuclear missile against us,
everybody get in the hole.
Everybody go, run! And it's like, well, no, because as they showed at the beginning, they had to take a boat to get there. They had to hike to get there. They had to drill several hundred miles in this cyclotram machine.
They have to climb a volcano to get to it.
I mean, how are they going to, disseminate copies of the map? Like, there was no internet back then, so
yeah.
I just don't get how this plan was going to work.
Figure it this way. Before you have a plan to go live on the moon, you probably better make sure you know how to get to the fucking moon. So maybe that's what this mission was. Hey, let's make sure we can even get to the center and see if there's even an area where we can find to live, and we'll worry about the rest of that bullshit later.
I guess.
I mean, at some point you have to. You don't go down there with all these expectations and plans if it's exploration.
But it seemed like time was of the essence, because...
Man, you're making it sound like Christopher Columbus knew that there was going to be a Studio 28 in Grand Rapids someday. So we've got plans to build movie theaters, and we got plans to do all this, when really, he didn't even know it was out there yet.
What the fuck is that supposed to mean?
Eventually, you've got to worry about that stuff later. That's my point.
I guess. Well, either way, it's rather silly. Not that I don't have fun watching it, but it is rather silly. And I think, aside from just all that stuff, the fact that it's like a $40 million movie shot on a $50,
You mean a $50 million idea shot on a $500 budget?
Yeah. But I also feel, I mean, what is this, like 70-something minutes?
If that,
so
yeah, it's something like that.
Yeah, it's not that long at all. And I feel like, for me, it felt like there was... I know there probably weren't, but it did feel to me like there were scenes missing. Because I feel like the characters kind of change on a dime. Like, one minute they're panicking and they can't handle it. The next minute, like, yeah, let's go on. There's no real connective tissue. It's... Because we've got to assume that this took a couple weeks, right? I mean, it would take a while to drill to the center of the Earth. And I feel like we're missing a lot of human interaction.
There's one point where they get out and a guy falls off a cliff, kind of, and they've got, like, ropes to lift him back up. Yeah. That's about as harrowing as it gets.
Yeah.
Like, there's nothing really going on in the middle of the Earth.
No, and it seems rather, just kind of ho-hum, which is fine. In a way, I liked that, because it was just kind of neat to see this silly little miniature toy drilling through the Earth. I mean, that's fun. I'll watch that shit for hours, but...
Waiting for the rabbits to see if they were going to have babies was more dangerous than the trip to get there.
Yeah. But it's just the characters themselves are so one-dimensional that you don't really... Every time they kind of go back to the characters inside the machine...
I don't know who they are.
It just kind of grinds to a halt, because the only real character traits they have is woman who doesn't take guff from any men, but... secretly likes the bad boy. You got the one scientist who's adamant about going on. You got the other scientist who's kinda wants to go on but flip-flops. You got the playboy billionaire guy. And then you got two throwaway red shirts. So it's like... That's pretty much your character description. Who are these people? We don't know, but you're following them to the center of the Earth. Oh, I do also want to mention this has, I don't know, out of the movies we've watched, because I think this dates back to the beginning of adventure filmmaking in general, but there's always that shot where it's always a stock footage shot of an avalanche.
Yeah.
and the characters are running, and they'll stop, look, point, and say, "Oh my God, an avalanche! Let's get out of here," and then resume running.
Yeah, back the other way that they were. It's like they ran up to it to see it.
Why do you stop to look at it?
Yeah.
But it's funny. They do that in so many movies.
Yeah.
Like, later on, they got better with that in movies. Like, I always remember that scene in, it's kind of the show-stopping scene in The Black Hole, when that meteor...
Oh, God, that's such an amazing shot. And the dude falls.
Yeah. See, at least if somebody falls, that gives you a legitimate excuse. They didn't stop and look at the meteor and go, "My God, a meteor."
Yeah. You know what? I'm just saying, that shot alone does not get enough credit for how good that effect looks and how iconic that looks, that shot. That sequence is amazing.
Shit when I was a kid. Like, because I had the Black Hole on a record book where you turn the page when you hear the chimes.
Yep. Yeah, with
and I was
Percy Rodriguez did the voice.
The music in the background during that sequence in the book, I used to make my mom play that part over and over again because I loved it.
It's the best one.
So anyway,
it's the best one in the beginning because it's Percy Rodriguez doing the this is the story of the black hole. But he's got the best after the it's time to turn the page when you hear the chimes ring like this and they go ching and he goes, "Let's begin now." And it's so good. It's the best.
That was like, that's so weird because I think, even though of course I was totally into Star Wars and stuff, for some reason,
Black Hole was amazing.
I want to say that for about a year of my life, the Black Hole was like
the shit. Yeah.
Like I was obsessed with that movie. I saw it in a drive-in. And then I believe it aired on TV a few times. I didn't have cable. I never had cable growing up. So I could only catch movies if they aired on networks. Mm-hmm. And I'm sure Black Hole must have aired 2 or 3 times because I saw it. Plus, I saw it
Disney
a lot.
Channel.
Plus, I didn't have cable.
Oh. But on free weeks, they'd show it.
Plus, I had that record album. And I had a couple of, I want to say action figures. Did they do action? Yeah,
no, they did recently. I don't think they had like real action figures of Black Hole back in the day, but I could be wrong.
Maybe you know what it is. Maybe not only did I have the record book, I actually think I had the picture book that I got.
There was a board game too, I think.
Yeah, but you know those picture books you could get through book fairs?
It was they were always the storybook of the Black Hole, and it would have like the first page would be little like squares of like the principal people in it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love those books. Those were the best. I have Dune like that still, which is outrageous to think Dune.
Yeah. I wish they'd made one of these for Unknown World.
Yeah, it might help us know who was in that movie. Yeah.
Now, one
thing I want to say about Black Hole is just the last time I went back and watched it, and just from the aesthetic of thinking like, okay, this is a haunted house movie. Maybe this is kind of a haunted house movie in space because the Cygnus is such like lit like orange windows and it's kind of got a haunted house tower. And if you look at it like Reinhardt is Dracula. It's outrageous to think because he's got the fucking medallion and shit, and Maximilian Schell is acting like Dracula, and he's taken over a race of people. Like he has slaves. It's like he's kind of Dracula in that movie. It's kind of an outrageous horror slant to it.
Do you think it's almost kind of in a weird way a sort of spiritual remake of Forbidden Planet?
I can see that, but like there's a lot of that too. Especially because of Dr. Mobius?
Yeah.
And Dr.
And
Reinhardt.
The robots.
But Dr. Reinhardt's doing a whole lot more dirtier, darker shit than Dr. Mobius is just my subconscious mind is doing this. It's not really his fault.
Yeah.
It's like
Mobius wasn't evil.
No, it was his own his own emotions were doing that. So, no, Reinhardt's straight up like, Dracula.
Yeah.
He's very Dracula and outrageous.
You've lived out here for 20 years? Alone?
20 Earth years, but I didn't live exactly alone. I've created companions of a sort. Ah, Mr. Pizer, come in, join us.
Thank you. Have you met the Goon Squad?
Goon Squad, nice.
This movie was originally entitled Night Without Stars, which is a much more poetic title than Unknown World, and I kind of like it, although I don't think that title would have made it any better or worse. And
no, but it's better. I mean,
yeah. Now this movie has resurfaced recently, within the last, gosh, I want to say, why did I say gosh? Gosh. No, this movie resurfaced in the last few years. I don't know when this came out. I think it was in 2017. There was a mini-series on Netflix called 13 Reasons Why, and it was based on a book of the same name by Jay Asher. And it's about a bullied teenager who commits suicide, and she leaves 13 cassette tapes behind and sends them to all these different students, and they listen to the tapes to find out why she did it. And
okay,
there's a scene in that apparently in episode 4. I have not seen the miniseries. I did read the book, honestly, but I have not seen the movie or the miniseries.
Yeah.
But apparently in season 3, episode 4, there's a scene where they're at a local movie theater and they're watching Unknown World, and it's discussed briefly by the characters.
Oh my god!
And you can see the theatrical poster on the wall.
That's nuts.
So that's a little weird. I guess I would have to see the scene to know why they're discussing it.
I'm just happy they are.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, this is a public domain movie, so, I mean, it's better. No offense, because Night of the Living Dead is my favorite movie, but I sometimes get sick of that being the only movie people are ever watching in other movies just because it's public domain. Like, it's innumerable how many movies have just had characters watching Night of the Living Dead.
Yeah, that's true.
So I'm glad that something like Unknown World pops up, because I have a soft spot for this movie, and I can't really explain why, other than I bought it on a used VHS copy of it back in the early 90s. You and I and our friend Randall and sometimes my brother Josh, during the summer, would spend our time off driving pretty much all around West Michigan looking for mom and pop video stores to buy previously viewed titles. And I remember finding Unknown World in one of the bins and being kind of like in awe of it, because I had never heard of it. At that point in time, I fancied this is a few years before the internet and IMDb, so I thought I knew it all. I thought I knew every movie, every science fiction movie that came out in the 50s. I was an expert, if for no other reason than I declared myself to be. And when I stumbled across Unknown World, I was like, what? You mean there's movies are there movies from the 50s I don't know about? I kind of felt the same way when I first found a copy of Flying Saucer, the Mikkel Conrad opus.
Or it's like Killers from Space, when we were getting those Phantom from Space and Good Time double features.
Yeah, there was just so many little weird titles popping up where I was like, holy shit, there must be more of these than I thought. And then, of course, I found out there were. But again, folks, this was 1992. How was I to know?
You should have known
anyway, than to fall in love with you.
Should've known better.
Richard Marx, Hit Machine.
I thought that was Bryan Adams. Isn't that Bryan Adams?
No, that's Richard Marx.
I think Bryan Adams has a song similar. I don't know.
He has cuts like a knife.
I know, of course. Anyway.
No, Bryan Adams was... I
know who Bryan Adams is.
I know, but I don't... No, that was a Richard Marx song for sure.
Okay.
Should've known better.
Okay, yeah.
Did you know Richard Marx was one of the first to appear in Michael Bay videos?
Really?
I said that so ass backwards. Some of the first videos Michael Bay directed were Richard Marx videos.
Sweet.
Yeah. But
do you think Richard Marx was related to Groucho?
I don't know. You know what there is? There's an invention called Google.
I know I know he's not actually, but
how do you know?
Wish, because I've researched this, but I'd like to think he was.
Nope, you're right. He wasn't.
Nope.
That's too bad, because that would have been a hell of a thing.
Yeah.
Richard Marx is. I have a lot of respect for Richard Marx. His Twitter or whatever, his online presence is pretty funny. He's one of those people you kind of group in with Kenny G and Josh Groban.
Yeah.
Like, I don't like their music,
but they have a sense of humor about who they are.
Yeah, they know who they are.
Yeah.
And they just are now having fun with it, and I respect the hell out of that.
Yeah.
So
anyway,
Unknown World, I bought this videotape of it and I went home and watched it and was like, oh, hey, it was like discovering a new...
You really laugh like that? Okay.
I did, yes. And I'll always have a soft spot for it for that reason. And later on in the mid-90s, when the internet finally dropped, as the kids would say, and we had it in our homes and I was going to college, I used to sit up late at night a lot, either working on homework, writing things, or just surfing the internet. And back then, if you wanted to surf the internet, you had to make it an all-night thing, because we had dial-up, and it would take 3 hours for websites to load. So if you were going to make a night of surfing the web, it was a night of surfing the web. It's not like now where you're like, just run and check something real quick. It's
yeah,
like,
I know.
No, I want to look at pictures of Shirley Manson from garbage. I'm going to be here for about 4 hours waiting for the homepage to load. And you loved it. You accepted it, and it was...
No, dude, whenever I think of the early days of the internet, I think of me just going to the college with you just so I could read all about Halloween 6 cut footage.
Yeah.
That was my biggest thing back then.
Yeah.
I was so into seeing... I was like, oh my God.
Yeah.
Like, there's
was
pictures
nuts.
and everything from Halloween 6, and it's telling me what was cut and happened. Yeah.
Yeah.
That was the internet.
But
anyway,
when I was up... No, what I'm getting at is when I was at home up really late at night, like I said, I oftentimes would just throw movies on in the background for the noise.
Mm-hmm.
Because there wasn't any Spotify or anything, and you either had to put a CD on or listen to a MIDI file.
I had tapes and tapes of The Simpsons with the commercials taped off of like rabbit ear antennas. That was for years what I washed, the dishes to or did whatever.
One of the videotapes I watched a lot during that period was Unknown World. Like, that was just always on in the background. It was like that. The American version of Godzilla, and Phantom from Space, and Day of the Triffids, because I had copies of all these.
Yeah, I loved that. Good Times Day of the Triffids release.
Yeah, so I would just watch that shit. That was like, either that or I was listening to really weird ambient music, which I still listen to.
something from Natural Wonders. So, any awards for, did they find any awards down there in the center of the world?
No, Rick, it did not win any awards whatsoever. Not even nominated for anything. no comic book adaptation.
Oh, no.
No picture book. There were probably no trading cards. I betcha... I don't know. I have the feeling this movie just sort of came and went and sunk into obscurity until somebody rescued it and started throwing it out on cheaply made VHS tapes. And just for some context here, going to the 3 major movie websites where you can log movies, as of this recording, Unknown World on Letterboxd sets at a 2.8 rating based on 532 views or watches.
I don't know what that means.
It means that 532 members of Letterboxd have logged this movie.
Okay.
So,
and
in other words...
2.2 rating against what? 2.2 out of what?
Just 2 point. That's its average. So, it's got 110 2-star ratings, 68 2.5-star ratings. So it's just their average rating is 2.8.
Out of what though? 2 point.
Probably out of I don't know.
Out of 5?
100? Out of 100? I honestly don't know how the.
Well, then what are you telling me for? Okay.
So I'm gonna get to that.
All right.
So I'm just telling you what it is on Letterboxd.
Right. Well, 2.2. Damn, that's good.
2.8 is not good. That's pretty low. I think it's 2.8 out of 10. In fact, I can find out if that's it.
That's fine.
No, I want to, because going forward, I want to make sure I'm doing this right. So, what's a really popular movie? Let's see, Prometheus.
That's not popular.
3.2 out of... So it might be out of 5. War of the Worlds is...
No, find something that's brand new. Like, put Avengers Endgame, because that everyone's seen, everyone's rated, everyone's loved, and we'll know what it should be then. If you just put one of the Avengers movies in.
Okay. Avengers Endgame.
Or Infinity.
It's got to be 5, because nothing's going higher than...
Okay.
Actually, I don't see much going above 3.9, so... All right, just...
So we don't know what it means.
So if somebody wants... Okay, cut all that out. So yeah, I don't know, Rick. I don't know what 2.8 means. If somebody... I use Letterboxd on an hourly basis. And
someone tell us what 2.8 means on there.
I want to guess it means out of 4 or 5. Okay, but moving on, if we go to IMDb, it stands at a 4.1 out of 10. Okay. So that's not too good, but it's not awful. That's based on 1.3 thousand ratings. And everybody's favorite Rotten Tomatoes. This movie has, based on 500 plus ratings so far, it has a 7% audience score. No score from the critics. So yeah, this movie is not very well regarded.
Not liked.
But god damn it if I don't have a soft spot for it. But again, just because it's kind of like a stuffed animal that you still have from childhood, like this was that background noise through so much of the 90s for me that I'm just gonna love it anyway. Do I admit that it's not very good? No, it's pretty boring, and it's probably long forgotten for a reason, but I will remember it forever. So at least you got that going for you, Unknown World. And
so how many stars?
I'm gonna say, just if I mix my nostalgia points with just objective viewing points,
sure,
I'm gonna just say 2.5 stars. But that half star, maybe even a full star, is just completely nostalgia.
That's interesting, because in my head, right before you said it, I picked what I was going to give it. I didn't want to like overlap or whatever, but but right before you said it, I thought I would give it 2 stars.
Nah.
So I'm actually going below you at this point.
Usually so maybe you go above.
Exactly. Maybe that half star is just the love. I didn't go above because you had the love.
Yeah, that's true. I had the love for this, and that's such a intangible thing that it does.
I get it.
Doesn't matter.
I get it.
There's no way to quantify it. You just have to accept it.
No, and because you can love something for just like one dumb scene in that movie, in one of those kind of movies that you love as a kid, you know.
I like the cyclotram. I think it's neat looking.
Yeah.
And I like the shots of it going through the caves, and I think that there's an intriguing premise.
It's real easy to drive because all you got to do is like line up these like light circles. If you line them up just right, it does shit.
Yeah, exactly. So, all right.
I'll say that 2 stars. 2 stars for Unknown World.
Now, if you do want to watch Unknown World, it's available in lots of different places. It's available on YouTube. You can watch it on... You can stream it on Classics, Cultpix, Tubi, and FlixFling. That's as of this recording. You can rent it on Amazon or FlexFling, or you can buy it from Amazon or FlexFling. That's digital copies. If you want to actually own a physical copy of this, there are used ones out there. Looks like they're in anywhere from $3 on up to $14. And there's even some VHS tapes of it available for purchase if you're into that. So it's available is what we're saying. You're not going to have any trouble finding this if you want, because
it's out there.
It's out there, and it has been forever. It's public domain. So
Unknown World, we salute you.
Yeah.
Sort of.
Sort of. I love you. I love you, Unknown World.
I'll invite you over from time to time, but I don't love you. I like you, but I don't love you.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
There's life on that island. People.
I feel like I'll live forever.
Thanks again to all of you.
Bye, Mr. Stoner. Bye, sir.
Goodbye.
Certainly hope you have a nice trip, Mr. Stoner.
Hang on to the wallet.
I will.
This is Rick, and on behalf of the crew of the Lexaproteus 4, I just wanted to say thank you. The importance of you listening to our show is of extraordinary magnitude. So please like, share, talk about it to your friends, post a comment, anything you would normally do on social medias. You have our gratitude. If you write a review, we'll read it on the air. And once again, smash, hit, whatever the kids say, all the like buttons, and help us defeat Algorithm, the Dark Lord of the universe.
Tune in next time when Ryan and I meet up with Superman and the Mole Men.